my studio. This is Emma, and here I am, and here you are. How does it get any better than that? Monday morning, so where else would I be but down here? I have had such a good time over the weekend. The weather was very nice. You know, it's mixed, isn't it, this time of year? I just love September. You never quite know what you're going to get. I'm still trying to wear my sort of summerish clothes, but if I layer up, you know, it's this drift, isn't it, into autumn when you're thinking, I'm just not getting my jumpers out yet. I'm just not. I want to keep thinking it's kind of summery. So I didn't quite wear my shorts at the weekend, but it was touch and go at one point when the sun came out. It was lovely. I've been doing outdoor jobs again. I've been tackling brambles and nettles and things that have just grown like crazy over the summer. It's been bonkers out there. There are things which are, you know, just high. So I'm out there with my scythe. I've got a fantastic scythe that I bought. I'm not sure if I mentioned that to you. It's so empowering because I can just go and cut anything back that I want to, wherever I want to do it, because I don't need to have a cord plugged in anywhere. I just go and swish my scythe, and it's very, very empowering. So that's what I've been doing at the weekend. And lots of, as I say, getting ready. It's the autumn. It's kind of, I can know winter's coming, but I'm still wanting to be outdoors as much as possible. I don't know about you, and those of you who are coming out of winter will know exactly what I'm talking about, the joy of being outdoors. And it's such a peaceful time of year. I feel like you can almost hear it. There's something in the air that you can actually kind of hear that says actually things are calming down, just settle down. So last week what did I do last week? I played around and I created this top part of this lovely piece that I'm making. I've so enjoyed the journey of this. I hope you have too. I know it's gone on for quite a few weeks now, but that's art. I think slow making and just appreciating each stage. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing that, and I hope you've enjoyed coming along with it. I'm planning to finish it off today, so there's quite a lot to do, but I thought doing that mountain just really, that pleased me so much when I cut it. The you know, the actual cutting of it and saying, no, I'm committing to this, I'm doing this thing. So I've so appreciated all your comments as we've gone along with this process. It's just lovely to have your feedback. You know, we all see things differently, and my process won't be the same as your process. And I will say, if anything that I do or say just kind of inspires you to get your fabrics out and have a play and just have a go, you know, there are no rules. That's my top rule, is there are no rules. It's just whatever makes you feel comfortable and happy. You know, when you look at something and you put it together, you just go, yeah, that really fits, that really makes it sing. So I so appreciate having you here. It's lovely knowing where you are all from around the world, because I will say I'm sitting here in this funny little place in the middle of nowhere and talking to a camera. How does it get any better than that? So I just really appreciate you being here. Thank you for subscribing. The numbers just keep clocking up, and I can't quite believe it. 2 years down the line, I'm still doing this, and it's personally making me more creative than ever. And I hope a little bit of that rubs off on you. I think the joy of playing, you just can't underestimate how important that is, especially, I'm not going to mention anything, but life is being very interesting at the moment, I'm sure, for many people. And I think your ability to come and focus on something like this, whether it's drawing or sketching or making a mark in your book, gluing and sticking, sprinkling glitter on everything, why not? You know, it's whatever floats your boat, but it's allowing your inner child or inner artist just to come out and say, and even if it's terrible, even if it looks awful, even if you hate it, you know, you can always, for something like this, you can always just cut it up again. You know, I often cut things up that I don't like, and that's the beauty of working with fabric, and I guess with paint and paper, you know, you can just stick more things on top. So anyway, that's enough chit chat for today. I think it's really important that we get on with this, because I would like to get this done. I would like to see it finished, and I'm sure you would too. So there we are. That's what I've got so far going on. I'm still not 100% sure about this sky, but I'm absolutely leaving it where it is for now, because I feel as though that's the last thing I need to be doing right now. I've got so much more else to be doing down here. So as you know, I was playing around with this sample and I really quite like it, but I think it's way too big. It would need to be that sort of size. And one of the things I thought of was, what it really needs is something to ground it again, because on the picture which actually I'm not going to show you again because I don't think we need it now. I think there's a risk when you, I will get it actually, because I just wanted to just sort of make this point really is, I've got this lovely picture, it could be a photograph that you're working from, but there's a danger that if you get, I know I had it all nicely lined up like that, there is a danger that if you stick to this and this is all you're working from and you're trying to make it religiously fit this picture, or the picture you've got in your head even, you know, I think that's then your head is coming into it rather than your heart, rather than just feeling it and playing it. So I've decided I'm putting this away now and I'm going to go back to what I usually do, which is allowing the fabrics to tell me which way to go and what goes well and what I would like to add in. So I've brought this piece of fabric in because I feel as though there is a sort of a road. I think there was a road going across that picture, but the minute I put that in, don't you feel that that kind of, it grounds it somehow? It stops it being too much green, it just gives it a bit of an edge and it kind of frames it up a little bit, so then we can focus on this bit with the flowers when we get to that bit, and in the meantime we'll do something going across here. So I'm feeling that. I don't actually want to use this piece as such, but it was quite helpful and inspiring. I feel as though what I'd like to do is I've just been playing around again with some little bits of green, and I've sort of just been embellishing little bits together with some green and some yellow. Now this is not finished, this is not how I quite want it to be, but it's just an experiment to see what sort of colours I want to put in, whether I want to put soft greens and dark greens, you know, how much yellow to put in. And I think when you start to put that in against the grey, that's quite nice contrast there. And then this line going across here. And again, it's how much, you know, how much of anything do you show? Sorry, that just keeps pulling off there. Stop doing that, please. You know, how much depth do you want to give to it? Do you want just a little flash of that bit? And in fact, do I want that colour as such? Or am I going to, here's some pieces I cut earlier, folks. Just to show you, I've cut some finer pieces from other fabrics, different sort of voiles and bits and bobs that I've got lying around the place, and I've just been playing around. And again, this is where you know, you're just playing with your colours, you're playing with the amounts of things, you're playing with how it looks, and whether I would, you know, put a bit more of that on top, so you're getting fine, so you've got fine lines going across, and it breaks up the surface. I felt that broke up the surface, so I can embellish that onto another piece, and then it just gives you, it's not just this solid piece of fabric going across that means your eye goes only to that and not to the whole thing. So this is kind of where I'm getting to, and you can see there's work to be done, so I'm going to simply get on with it. I've added on a piece of tearaway stabilizer underneath and a section more of my cotton curtain interlining, and obviously I've made it quite big so that I can make this you know, whatever size I want it to be. So I think the bit to process next is this little piece of sort of roady pathy thing that's going across, and that'll go there, and then these little bits, whatever they are, however they end up looking, will go something like that. And I feel as though that's getting to be about the right sort of amount. And then by the time I've got a foreground on here as well, some flowers, it'll be fine. So the next thing I'm going to do simply is just pin these on, have a play, get them embellished. I will have to move the stitch and tear out of the way. Having said that, on a technical note, I don't advise embellishing through onto stitch and tear or tearaway stabilizers, because it's paper and you don't really want your needles. So I'm just going to tuck that out of the way for now. I put it in so that it would hold the curtain interlining in place and give it a backing. So I'll just kind of pin that out of the way, and then I'm just going to play with these pieces here and get them embellished, and then I'm going to get onto the green bit as well. So there we go. Right, let's get embellishing. Let the magic commence. So this is the green piece that I'm now embellishing, and what I've done is I've just added lots and lots of strips of little bits of yellow and green, and I've just put a piece of mesh on top to hold them in place. and I'm only just doing it very lightly, and I'm going to take back the net, pull that off and have a little look at it. It's got a bit AWOL. Yeah, I think that's okay. I've kind of layered up the greens and the yellows so that it's kind of quite relaxed looking. Everything's just sort of blending into everything else, and by the time I've got all of this stitched down, that'll be just fine. Okay, so right now I think we're getting somewhere. It's a long, slow process this. It's been such a journey and it's been so interesting. I've learned so much from doing this, I really have. If only never ever do it this way again. Every little piece I've had to really think about and really do very slowly and try and pull it together inch by inch. So there's the odd little bit of thread that needs snipperating off there. I'll snip those little bits. I've kept it very simple. I actually ended up just using one colour of thread on here with a little bit of simple stitching. I really wanted the fabrics to speak and to shine. Every stitch you put in obviously alters the surface in some way, and you can use your stitching to create the sort of textures that you want. How you do the stitching alters what you get to see ultimately. I suppose it's like a brush stroke. If there's a painter, if you're a painter and you know, you're doing brush strokes, it's like, you know, your brush stroke will make a difference to the quality of how the light affects the surface. You're changing the surface all the time. So by using the fabrics in different ways, so we've got a different thing going on up here to what we've got going on down here, which, you know, I may well have to address at some point, but it's just interesting, isn't it? How, you know, each little stitch changes that surface and it reflects the light. I can see how it's reflecting the light. I'm not sure if you can, but maybe you can. So anyway, let's get on to this bit. We've now got to work out, the next challenge, ladies and gentlemen, is to work out exactly how far up that's going to go, as to how much of this is going to be seen, which I don't think is going to be a lot. I've got to work out how exactly this is going to sort of tie onto here, in what way that's going to work. If you'll notice up here, those of you with hawk eye vision will notice that I actually unpicked that line. Do you remember in my last video, or the video before? I can't remember which one it was. It was the one where I cut this out. I had a line going all the way around the top of there, a bit like this, and I really didn't like that. So I actually unpicked it, took it out, and I think that made that look much better, much more sitting in the landscape rather than just being like a shape. So the first part of the process, I think, is I've simply got to tidy this up and work out exactly how it's going on to here. And I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to start by trimming off the edges, and then I might have to add, I don't know, I might have to add a bit more fabric on it, I don't know. But this is where I'm starting. I've just got to start by being brave and dealing with the nitty-gritty. So I unpicked all of the sky threads that were on there. You can see a little bit of the line of them now, but I think that'll disappear. And I've pulled down the tearaway stabilizer for now. I've just kind of folded it back on itself down there. And I'm adding on these two colours of organza. I've got a sort of it's a slightly darker blue than this, and then I've got this white. I just want to give it a feeling of sort of pale sky, really, that's going to disappear into the background. And the green hill bit, I just added a little bit of this soft organza-y fabric onto it, and yeah, and I will stitch into that as well. So it's changed it completely. It's gone from being this very hard-edged backdrop to being something very soft that I think is just going to melt into the distance. So I'm going to embellish these on now and get them stitched. I love it when it's all pinned and ready to go. So I've embellished all of this down, and I love how it's just made everything so much softer, and the mountain and the sky are sort of harmonious. I'm going to put another piece of this green stuff on because I wanted it to come right around the edge like that, because having got it all textured right down these sides, I wanted the sky to kind of blend and harmonise with that as well. So I'm going to have some fun with some free machine embroidery now. Okay, so I'm kind of focusing on this area now and looking at what sort of flowers I'm going to put on. You can see I've done various things here, and I'm just experimenting to see what I like. This is what I started with. I did just a very simple piece of fabric that I kind of shoved through the embellisher, and then I've cut it into circles. And it's a question of whether I do it something simply like that, that way you can see it, or whether I'm going to do something like that, which I do like. I like the way that those little cut petals look really good. I like that. But I don't like the way it's quite so flat on there. So I've just done a thing here where I've layered up 2 bits. This is all just playing around, so I'm going to put a middle into there. But I almost feel as though that's too busy. I'm just wondering if I put the same size on top of the same size. Is that too busy as well? I think that's too busy. I think that's too much. So again, it's all about choosing. What am I going to choose? I feel as though I'm getting there now. It's been a bit of deliberation, a bit like every other part of this piece. I've had to really kind of play around and fiddle about and just let things emerge slowly. I've gone from this very defined flower to something very soft and frilly, and I think it works. And I've even just cut, these are just little, if I just show you this is just a tiny little fraction of a circle that I've kind of cut. I don't know if you can see that very well. There you go. It's like a semicircle is the word, isn't it? And I've just simply snipped into it, and I think that works. I'm just getting this sense of scale much better. I had some of these with these things on, which they just felt far too big, far too big. I felt it just wants to be this very soft, gentle. So I'm going to perhaps embellish these in place and then stitch them, and as I say, just fiddle about with these little, it's almost like having little scraps of flowers, so you just get this feeling that in the grass there are some flowers. Okay, so I'm just thinking this is done. These are very rough, very delicate. They're just like little hints of flowers, not at all what I thought I was going to be doing originally. When I first set out on this project, I genuinely thought I'd be doing like big, bright, brash sunflowers or something. I thought that was how it was going to be. I had no idea it was going to be this very delicate, very sort of ephemeral looking piece. So I'm really kind of surprised and kind of delighted with it. It's a very gentle piece. I'll just try and move it down a little bit so you can see the top as well. So everything on it has changed, as you can see. It is softened, it's very subtle, it's very gentle, and it's been a very slow and gentle process making it. It has had its moments of little bits of tussling, of me going, well, I don't know what to do with this bit. What's going to happen here? I'm going to be very brave, and I'm going to show you the back, and you can see just how cobbled together it all is. There's different bits, different sections, bits I've added on, you know, and you can see some of the stitching there. Nothing is rocket science on it, and I'm showing you the back because I think it's interesting to see the back of things, you know. You can see what actually goes into making this up, because on the front it's all about the front surface, isn't it? Like everything in life, if you only ever see the front, you'd have no idea what's been going on behind the scenes. I've made a very subtle sky. I think that's been a new thing for me, really, to make such a subtle, gentle sky. This mountain is just beautiful. I took the harsh lines off everything because I felt like everything just needed to soften. And when I look at this now, I don't know about you, but I'm transported. I'm transported to somewhere in the landscape that's very beautiful, very light, full of flowers, full of gentleness, full of summer. Very much summer. These little flowers turned out fine. I was, as I say, not what I thought I was going to be doing. I've had to let go of control all the way through this piece. This has been very much letting my intuition, letting the fabrics, letting my feelings in my heart, if you like, show me the way. And now it just feels really beautiful, and I'm so pleased with it. I feel it's a very nourishing piece, and I personally have learned a lot through doing it. And I would like to thank you for staying the process with me, because I know it's been a long, slow one. over many weeks, but I would just like to say thank you for that. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope it's maybe inspired you to realise, if nothing else, that playing with fabrics, playing with your art, whatever it is you're doing, it can be as slow as you like and as gentle as you like. It doesn't always have to be about the wow factor. You know, it's just, you know, appreciating it, going slowly, enjoying every little moment of it. Because I can see now why this is so loose. This first piece that I made is so loose, and it's kind of set the tone for the whole of the piece. So this is the end of September. This is the last week of September. We're into October next week, and I am feeling that autumn is definitely coming. I'm starting to look at my jumpers and my slightly more wintry clothes. I don't know about you. Perhaps it's spring where you are, but that's definitely what I'm doing. And tidying up the garden, putting things away for the winter, putting things to bed for the winter, if you like. And I think autumn needs celebrating, so I think we'll be doing something very nice and autumnal next week, and I'm so looking forward to that. I'm very excited about it, and I hope you are too. So thank you so much for supporting me through this. Thank you for all your lovely comments, thank you for your feedback, thank you for joining in with me, and I will look forward to seeing you next week in my studio for something completely different. The winds of change are blowing. Bye for now. Ba ba da ba da ba da ba ba.